Wagwan y'all, it's Dimz, and today I have a quick review of a little product. So background, I love fight sticks, I love arcade sticks, I even mod them myself, and I spend my time on Reddit fight sticks playing and talking about it all the time. But a few months ago, this little website entered my peripheral called FightBox Arcade. So this website and people who sometimes post about this saying, hey, are these fight sticks any good? They usually sell fight sticks or leverless fight sticks really cheaply, so everyone's wondering, are they a scam? Could they be that good? So I decided to buy one and find out. The main reason I decided to buy one was I want to see how moddable these could be. When you start modding fight sticks, you actually find out that you can make fight sticks out of anything, whether it's big, compact, expensive, or even the cheapest things. It all just takes like how much room do you have and how much ability do you have. So I saw that they had one, and they have a few sticks that is marked as DIY, or do it yourself. It's actually called the DIY panel, and as they say in the description, the DIY panel requires customers to have a certain amount of hands-on ability. Well, I definitely do have a certain amount of hands-on ability, and I have a soldering gun, so I want to see how much does it need to actually mod these things, and are they even any good in the first place, or is this site just a scam? So I scrounged up some money, working my little job, and I decided to swipe my card and give them $100 just to find out. So the specific one I bought was the FightBox B2 arcade controller for PC and Android. And I bought the DIY version just to see what's the difference between this one and the standard one, even though I'm not buying the standard one. In the description, they even have a art template for it, for people who want to put their own art. And since this is the DIY version, I was like, why not put my own art? I know how to make it. So I just downloaded that real fast and decided to make my own little art for it. So I bought it on the 19th, but that fell in line with the Chinese New Year's, which it looks like they had decided to take a week off of doing any orders. So it didn't ship until the 30th of January. But after it shipped, another week went by, and I received it around February 4th. So if I were to talk about the shipping, give or take, it'll probably take you 2 weeks after you buy it to receive the product, maybe even less. Well, in my experience, since it is international, anything can happen. So when I got it, it was pretty decently packaged. It came fully assembled, and it came with its own USB-A to USB-B cord that's supposed to be used for the controller. Everything about the controller is pretty much exactly what it is described on the website. All the buttons came with black Cherry MX switches under them, and they're all hop swappable, so if I want to switch out the switches, which I did, you can do that pretty easily. Keycaps, on the other hand, feel pretty cheaply made, but definitely serviceable. To me, I always feel like the power is behind the key switches instead of what you use to press down on them. But even with that said, pressing down on these are not uncomfortable at all. It's very serviceable. And it won't be the easiest thing in the world to find replacement keycaps for these, because these keycaps are actually pretty tall, so unless you know how to make them yourself, you're pretty much going to be stuck with these. Going back to the controller itself, this controller is pretty much just an acrylic stack. It's an acrylic on top of acrylic on top of acrylic, so it's like an acrylic sandwich, and it's just held together by about 7 screws. All the buttons work, everything feels fine, everything's very, very serviceable. It's actually a pretty dang good product, especially for the price. Biggest downside about this stick is when you press on it, sometimes it will depend on where your fingers are, you can feel the rims of the top panel acrylic. Like where the buttonholes are, you can feel that rim. Which means basically you're not going to have the easiest time sliding your buttons between one button and another. So no cool slidey tricks like this. But it's never a bad thing to be deliberate with your button presses. It's just, no slidey tricks. So now comes to the part where the reason I bought it for, modding. Let's see how easy it is to mod. Well, first, the 7 screws are only held together by this really common screw size, a PH00. So just get a Phillips PH00 and you'll be able to unscrew all 7 screws, and the thing kind of just falls apart. One cool thing is you don't actually have to take apart the stick to switch out the key switches or even to remove the key caps, so that's awesome. When it comes to placing art, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just grab your art piece that you took from the template and just lie it down there and close it up around it. However, when you do print out the art, since there's nothing specially dedicated to this controller's layout, you're gonna have to cut out each of the button holes yourself and make sure you cut out bigger than the holes indicator on the template. Because if you don't cut out bigger, the keycaps will just snag on the art piece and you won't be able to press the buttons as well. So make sure you cut out bigger than the art template when it comes to cutting out the buttons or the holes for the keycaps. You can even make art to be put on the back too. Again, self-explanatory, and no holes to cut out when you put on the back. With the art piece I made for the stick, I decided to do something really goofy, and plus a friend dared me. I didn't think anything serious of this stick. But the art piece I made, I won't be showing in this video because I probably can't, because YouTube probably wouldn't like it. But it'll be in the description below if you're curious. So what about upgrading and future-proofing this controller? Well, I took a look at the PCB of this controller. It's soldered into the board. Not the worst trouble for me, but the thing is, there's not enough room to actually do or replace it with something I like. Especially since one of the acrylic panels kind of perfectly fits over it in a certain way, where it doesn't really allow any other PCBs to be soldered in neatly. Long story short, it's going to be more trouble than it's actually worth to actually try to upgrade this thing with PCB and, switch and desolder it from the board and actually find a different acrylic to house the new PCB correctly. It's going to be way too much trouble than it's actually worth for this piece of thing. So that means that truly this controller will only work on PC and Android. But do I think it works? Do I think it's a good controller overall? Well, yeah. I feel like this is a great controller to get your feet wet if you're thinking about or just want to try out leverless fight sticks and that you play on PC. So if you've been seeing the hitbox around or different types of leverless around and you're like, I wonder if I would like that layout, but I don't want to, commit to the spending $200 to $300 on the professionals or the big fancy looking sticks, definitely pick up this if you actually play on PC. It will definitely give you the time to get the feel. It's not the biggest money sink. And if you actually really like the layout, then you can definitely upgrade later on, since this thing only will work on PC. So that was my quick review of the small little sticks that is available at FightBox Arcade. It is definitely a cheaply made controller. You get what you pay for, but definitely if you're curious and you want to get your feet wet, you actually can't go wrong with this controller. As long as you mainly play on PC and you're only going to use it on PC, then I say, yeah, it's definitely a great buy to find out if you like it. It should be your first stick if you want to try out leverless sticks, but not sure if you could get used to the layout. Well, that's about all I got for today. I've been Dimz, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.